Hello, and thank you for joining Pick Know How. In this video tutorial I'm going to show you how to make some of the images that you see on the screen. And this is going to require a couple things. It's going to require some black construction paper, some scotch tape, maybe an X-Acto knife, and if you have any punches that can create images such as this, or this, or other images that you have, that is great. You can cut these by hand, but if you have a punch tool, a lot of scrapbook stores have these type of things. It'll make things just a little easier to go forward. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create this black overlay that's going to go on top of the lens, and this basically was cut out of a black piece of construction paper and cut some wings out of it and cut a rectangular shape in the center, and all of this was the same diameter of my 50mm prime lens. And the idea is to be able to set this right over top of the lens and then kind of tape that down. Now you can kind of come up with 100 different ways to cut and create this, but the important thing is that I've taped two additional pieces of construction paper on that will create these little guides, one on each side of the rectangle, and those are actually going to take our pre-cut templates that we have here and allow them to just kind of slide in and slide out, so we can change them fairly quickly. And I'll just go in like that and slide them out and whatnot. Now when you create this, and this sits right on top of this, there's a couple things we have to watch out for. The first is that these little tabs that are going to hold this down, we don't want them to extend onto the focusing ring of the lens. And second, if your lens slides in and out, rather than all the focusing taking place inside the lens, we need to make sure that we set it to its furthest out point. Kind of put that on there, and then kind of tape this down, and only put the tape onto the lens above the focusing ring, so that the focusing ring can still move and not be constrained. Okay, so I went ahead and taped that on there, and the key thing being that the focusing ring can still move. The other thing is that this rectangular shape, make sure that the rectangular shape is perpendicular with where the lens will be in its final position when it's on the camera, so that as you're looking at the camera it looks just like that and not kind of sideways. So now we have a lens with a rectangular piece in the construction paper and some guides that we can slide various templated cutouts into the lens as such. Okay, so now what we've got is we've got the black construction paper situated on the lens. We have our heart-shaped template slid in and directly in front of the lens. And so now imagine if you were out on a dark city night. We had a lot of lights from the city lights, headlights, street lamps, signs, things of that nature that were emitting, and you were taking a picture with a wide open aperture in the 1.4, 1.8, 2.0 range, and your subject would be in focus and your background would blur out and create that bokeh effect that you see in many images. So right now the lens is focused on these a set of dimly lit Christmas lights that you would normally put on a tree, just sitting on a table. And the video that we have here is very underexposed, but I'm doing that intentionally so you can see the effect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to forward focus as if there was a subject in front of these lights, and watch what happens to each of those lights. Each of those lights turns to the shape of the template that we've put in front of the lens. So in this case we have that heart-shaped lens, and now we have heart-shaped lights. Now while the video is rolling here, I'm going to go ahead and slide out the heart. Okay. And notice that each of these lights now are semi-rectangles, and that's because the shape of the initial square or rectangle that I cut out of that construction paper is that shape. Now I'm going to slide in here a new template, and you'll see exactly what that is as it slides in here. Slide it in from the top. Okay. Little moon with a star. And you can see each of those lights have now blurred into that. In fact, let's go ahead and put one more in here so you can see the thing. This is why we create this little jig to slide these in so you can change these real fast. Little curly Q, right? Okay. So if you use this, you're taking pictures regardless of whether it's a dark night or whether it's dusk or dawn or whatnot, you can get this effect in the background. And I'm going to put the heart shape template back in, and I'm going to show you something else. When I first saw this, I wasn't sure how it had happened, but after a little trial and error, kind of figure this out. So remember I told you we're forward focused on these lights, so we're focusing at a point in front of the lights. Watch what happens to these heart shapes is that I'm going to move the focus back to the lights. Now we're focused on the lights. Watch what happens to them when I focus beyond the lights. Tell me what you see here. I may have to move the camera here just a little closer. As we have a prime lens. I don't know if you can see it real well in this picture, but you can see the hearts are now inverted. They're upside down. I didn't put the template in upside down. I just focused beyond the light. So depending on whether you're forward focused or backward focused on the light source will kind of determine what you have. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of manually adjust this, and there we're in focus, and now we're going forward focused, and you can see now they flip back up upside right. So that's the technique I use to create these custom images. Here are a few more of those images again to take a look at. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at john@photographybyparmley.com. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.